Hello everybody and welcome back to War Thunder Mobile. Today we are introduced into the new update which has given us the Leopard 2A4M. Now the 2A4M and the 2PL, let's take a look at the rounds. We got KEW, DM33 and DM12A1. Now of course we're going to want to go with KEW because that is a very powerful APFSDS round. Though the issue is we don't want to carry as many rounds because there is going to be a vulnerability in the hull right down in the front if we do start carrying a large amount. So because of that, we're going to carry just a few. Now, we do have pretty good protection on the front, and with the slat armor on the side, we do have additional armor there as well, which is going to be fairly helpful. We do have BMP attempting to infiltrate our spawn already, but, you know, just took care of him, so that's fine. Alright, ZTZ over here. Gotta be a little bit cautious. I don't know exactly where these guys are. Okay. We've made it into the sniping position. There's a T-80U. Let's try to get the T-80U. Alright. Do notice that the T-80U's ERA does still eat pretty much anything. I have the high caliber artillery, so we're going to use that right over there. I'm not sure where our other rounds are stored. If we can, I'd like to look at that in a little moment. I mean, there's nothing much going on yet. Alright, so I don't know. It appears that they do have the additional rounds stored somewhere else. As we just saw there, the frontal protection isn't that bad. I mean, it was there. But it's fine. We do have to get around to seeing the rest of the platoon anyway. Where's this guy going? Frankly, I have no idea what he's trying to do. We're going to start reversing here. Try to give us a little more wiggle room to work with. Uh-oh. Alright, Abrams used smoke. We're fine there. T-90 can't get us. That tank is gone, naturally. Okay, BMP-2M. We're pretty good at smoking BMPs, okay? That's what I've noticed so far. Though, naturally, most tanks should be perfectly good at doing that anyway. Put artillery right there. I'm pretty sure that Abrams is still idling around that way, and that's not necessarily something I want to engage with at the moment. But we might be forced into having to do that. I want to get this Moderna, though. There's something over here. Gun, okay, good. Is that Abrams still around? It's not. Okay, we're fine on that side then. Good to know. We did take out the gun of the Moderna, though there are other vehicles over there. Ooh, a Puma. That's going to be fun to test out in a little bit. I think it is a very crowded area over here, though we could probably go and get the capture point. I think that would be fine. Just avoid the Puma. Nope, you can't kill me, buddy. You don't have the capacity for that. Uh-oh, that's not good. That is very not good. Or maybe he thinks I'm being indecisive, I don't know. Could I just take out your track, please? If you're gonna just go back and forth like that. Come on. Alright, I'm happy with that. PL, Puma. Get the Puma. Get the Puma. Oop. Shouldn't have turned on or kept the auto aim on. Alright, that guy's down. Puma. Have artillery. Okay, that's interesting. I expected the APFSDS to do a little bit more damage to the Puma. That's a Pretty easy way to die right here. Dang it. Alright, let's back it up. Pretty high reverse speed, we appreciate that. Alright, knocked out his cannon, good. Saves my allies a little bit of trouble. We are running out of rounds, and there's MiG-15 over there. Glad it's not a bomber. I don't think this Leopard should be leading us in this attack, but he is. Which is an odd choice, to say the least. Alright, let's say like right about there. The longer reload isn't really helpful, but we don't exactly have a choice. Okay. Artillery on that guy, so he's a little bit frantic. That'll be fine. Do you need help? Is someone bothering you? Help you repair. Yeah, I agree. It is really good to help your allies, and we need a little bit more of that. Okay. This guy is moving somewhere. I guess that's where he was moving. Alright, no damage, awesome. I don't know what you were aiming for, but we can see here. I bet it's the hull. Yeah, makes sense. Alright, who's left? Nobody. Awesome. Let's look at the PL's shells. Alright, same high explosive anti-tank round. We do have high explosive time fuse, DM33, which isn't bad, and DM43, which has a little bit more penetration. Awesome. As for the Puma, we have APDS HEIT, the ahead round, which a lot of people have been looking forward to seeing. I don't know how effective it is, though it might be good against aircraft. And then, of course, APFSDS, which is going to be very helpful. Then, of course, the Leopard has the armor-piercing tracer belt and a high-explosive tracer belt, which is pretty good. Alright, let's say, I don't know, mainly APFSDS and then some ahead. Alright, just another light tank over there, so that's all we have to deal with now. And with it being a crewless turret, I feel like that's going to be a little bit of an advantage, opposed to having, you know, crew everywhere. But it does make us a little bit vulnerable if we're not in a hold down position. Though we do also have the Moose APS. Where is this guy? It's a 1v1. Oh, great. That's just wonderful. Here, have that. It's just coming this way. Why? Do you think I'm not, like, auto-loaded? That's crazy. That's... oh my goodness. That's awesome. I didn't know that we could just do it like that, but... epic, okay. He's been dealt with. That's genuinely so silly. That's all it took. Just one shot to a fuel tank and he was done. Okay, well, Puma seems pretty good. Alright, we should be able to try the PL hold down here. Hopefully it's going to play quite well. We're going to have to see. And because of the protection on the turret, if we do it properly, the only way they can really get us is by going through the gun or potentially the sights, though I don't think that would be reliable for them to try to do that. So, more or less, we should just be fine here. Just about. So long as I also don't end up shooting the turret of one of my allies as they're driving past. That would be awfully a shame. Alright, there we do have a showcase of the protection of the turret. Awesome, pretty good hit. Okay, so you see that, guys? You see how he has ammo in the hole there? That's a pretty big vulnerability that I'm gonna have to warn against. Goodness, how many rounds is this gonna take? Alright, that wasn't a good spot to aim anyway. Challenger. Might as well shoot at him while he's here. Alright, then we go get that leopard. Perfect, okay. Right at the mantlet connecting part. Okay. That, I did not see the BMP. So overpressure still definitely, or that's not overpressure, that's the tandem. I thought he was using the high explosive shell. Okay, that definitely still works. So you guys gotta be aware of that. But, I don't know, I feel like that was kinda tricky. Like it shouldn't have necessarily been able to go through there. Okay, why am I getting harassed here? I don't think they should be able to shoot into that close of our like spawn area. But yet there they are. Let's try the head round against this air, or not, I guess. It's no fun. Really? Nobody here? They're gonna be like right around this corner though. Yeah, I know, buddy, I know. That's what I'm worried about as well. Yeah, that's not very fun if they're all just sitting around right there. Anyway, don't think there was anybody there. There's the TES. Yes, we hear you. There's nothing we can do about it. It's a Napoleon moment. Ooh, that reload is slow. Or at least switching between belts felt extremely slow. I don't think there's a whole lot we can still do when they're just going into our spawn. That has not changed. Ooh, actually. Okay. That is showcasing that when you only expose your turret, they can't do a whole lot of damage. Uh-oh. That's not good. That is really not good. Okay, sure. So, as all platoons are, we're still extremely vulnerable to spawn camping and, you know, a very aggressive enemy pushing just all up into the spawn like that. Very unfortunate, but, you know, that's always going to be a constant. Anyways, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I hope you guys feel a little bit more informed on this platoon, and I will see you guys again soon in the next one.